Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and start the meeting. I'd like to call it to order. First agenda on the agenda is stand up for pledge of allegiance, please. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And it's a roll call. Everyone's present tonight, except for Councilman Rhoda. He had a prior engagement in consider approving the minutes held from November 15th. Commission good. 11 second by Bob. All in favor? Item up is the audit presentation.
Yeah, Craig, are you on? There you are.
Greg, you got a full house tonight, so you got the show.
Hello. Yeah, I see that. Lots of people there.
In fact, just one sec, Craig, can't hear you. Hang on, please.
No, I'm.
No, you can't hear us.
They're great when they work.
Yeah. They are. What do we have to do without elbows, right?
Yeah.
Craig, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
I can't hear you though.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Where's Abby?
Give it a try.
Hang tight, Craig.
Yep.
She did say she was gonna make more.
Oh, I just heard something.
Maybe try that.
Can you hear now?
Yeah.
Okay, start the video. Unmute. Good. Okay, we're good.
All right.
Sorry.
Now the show's yours, sir.
All right. Well, I know all these people aren't here to listen to me, so I'll be brief as possible. So this audit was a very clean audit this year. Everything improved over prior years. It went very smooth throughout the process. We're able to get it done fairly quickly. I had a minor comment, as noted in the schedule of other matters, just to improve on some documentation in the payroll area, which Kelly is addressing. So that being said, I'll just quickly go over some parts of the financial statements, starting with page 16. And just highlight some of the year-end fund balances that were improved over last year. As you note in the general fund section, which is the general operating area of the town, we have a total amount of fund balances at the end of June 30 of $5,472,000. Of that, 1.7, and another 446,000 is committed to other areas and restricted. The detail of which of those can be found further in the notes on page 36 and 37. Over on page 18, just it shows how you arrive at those fund balances per category. So you can see on the general fund side, broken down by categories of revenue and expenditures, cost centers. We had an overall increase to fund balance of 723,000 over the year. And then I will highlight the budget versus actual to you, which is going to be on page 48. And why we arrived at where we did with the financial condition of the town. So on the budget versus actual, I'll just go over totals. The town anticipated to bring in $13,627,000. Instead, the town took in $14,503,000. So there was a positive budget variance there of $876,000, which large part of that came from additional state funding sources. On the expenditure side, the town budgeted to spend $14,563,000 and instead only spent $13,777,000. So another positive budget variance there of $785,556. So overall, the net increase to the fund balance again shows the $723,000. So instead of what was anticipated was to take from your fund balance, you instead added back into your fund balance for the year. So overall, just to highlight improvements in all areas as well as financial side, but most notably in the on the finance side of things, record keeping, etc., which is in great shape. So with that, I can leave it open to questions if you have any. I know it's very brief, but.
General audience, any questions? I see no questions at this time, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, Craig.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
I will say that also in your packets, you should have had this piece of paper showing, we put 25% back into capital improvement reserve. So 25% is back into that.
Anybody? We'll move on to the next item. The next item on the agenda is confirming our next chief, Rick Stubber.
Good evening, everybody. As we begin the process of replacing our retiring police chief, Michael Tracy, I had sent an email to all officers and welcomed letters of interest and support for those wanting to apply. This was an internal project. We wanted to be as transparent as possible, and the council felt really strongly about this process as well. We had 3 individuals submit letters and held 2 interviews. Deputy Chief Rick Stubber stood out in the interview process. Having been a law enforcement professional for the past 23 years, 17 as command level, having been a patrol officer, detective, detective sergeant, captain, deputy chief for the last 17 years for the Oakland Police Department, as well as a main drug enforcement agent for the past 13 years. Rick stated in his letter of interest that a successful police chief's skills must include strategic planning, collaboration, budgeting, labor, and human relations, and personal development, all of which Rick has cultivated over his 23-year career as a police official. He has great vision and ideas and isn't afraid to get involved at all levels of law enforcement. There is no doubt in my mind that Rick will bring the force forward for years to come. I would like to officially appoint Rick Stubber as Oakland's next police chief, but first, I would like to open the floor to the council to ask for any questions they may have before you confirm him as the next Oakland Police Chief, which will be effective February 9th, 2024. So if you guys have any questions?
No questions then. I make a motion, we accept the town manager's recommendation for removing police chief. Motion made second. Fatal.
Thank the council, town manager, all my officers, friends and family that showed up to support me. I look forward to putting on uniform again and getting out there and, thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Head him up, introducing the new Parks and Rec coordinator.
Yes, Aaron Parker. Where are you?
I'm back, sorry.
So Aaron Parker joined us in October, right?
Yes.
This is his first work day, but he's volunteering before, but I'll let Aaron tell everybody a little bit about him. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know how I can follow up a new police chief, but I did my best. I mean, I like to think that Parks and Rec is pretty important, but you know, police chief is probably a little bit more important than that. So I'm Aaron Parker. I am not a Mainer, unfortunately, although I'd love to say that I am a Mainer. I'm from Vermont, but I moved to Maine about 5 years ago. I started my career here in South Portland, working for their Park and Rec department. I ran a before and after care program there, and I also ran a summer camp there as well. From there, being there for about 2 years, I switched over to Falmouth Parks and Rec, where I also ran a before and after care program and a summer camp there as well. From there on, I was looking for some more full-time and some benefits, so I went into the teaching field. I was over at Richmond High School teaching health. That was quite an eventful time. And I was also teaching physical education and health at Dresden Elementary School for that year as well. After working a year there, I decided to switch over to the lovely district of RSU 18. I worked at Williams Elementary. I see a few of my past coworkers here tonight. I worked at Williams Elementary School for a year, being a physical education teacher there. And then I started out this year, and this opportunity opened up to become a coordinator for Parks and Rec and work under Eric Seekins, who's been running this department and running this program for 35 years. So a tough person to follow up, or a tough person to, you know, try to live up to those standards, but I look forward to doing that. Since I've been here, I started off a little bit with some pre-K to second grade soccer. I was helping out there on Saturday mornings, and I was helping run that a little bit and get kids kind of involved in that. So our soccer numbers this year, we had 42 pre-K to second graders. We had 25 third and fourth graders, and 14 fifth and sixth graders. So pretty decent numbers, at least from what I can see from the start. We then transitioned into a few different things. I helped Eric with a Veterans Day thing in this exact building that we're in here. It was a fantastic time to meet veterans from this community and to live in this community, which was really awesome. We then moved into starting to work on basketball. And basketball is quite an amount of things to do. There's travel basketball and there's rec basketball as well, so it's quite a bit there. So numbers for that, we had 28 pre-K to K kids sign up, 40 first and second graders, 62 third and fourth grade boys, 29 fifth grade boys, 17 sixth grade boys, 32 third and fourth grade girls, 22 fifth grade girls, and 14 sixth grade girls, which for travel led us into 2 third and fourth boys travel teams, 1 third and fourth girls travel team, 1 fifth grade boys travel team, 1 sixth grade boys travel team, and 1 fifth and sixth girls travel team. So those are very good numbers as far as I can tell, and to be able to put a good amount of teams in the travel league was really awesome. Tough thing to plan out, but it was really good to put all those travel teams in there. I'm very excited to work with the town. I'm very excited to try to build the town and continue to build Parks and Rec. I'm looking forward to working with many people in this town. There's a lot of connections that can be made, and I look forward to continuing to make those connections and continuing to help Oakland grow.
Next item up is Snow Pond Seniors. Donna Griffin, would you like to say something to them?
Yes, this is more informative than anything. As you know, before COVID hit, we had a soup and sandwich program in Oakland. After COVID, one woman from Albion was trying to keep this whole program going. I helped her out a little bit. She got burned out and quit. And I said, well, that's it. Told some of my cohorts and the Snow Pond seniors that this program is going away, and they go, oh, no, it's not. So from one person doing it, now we have 7 people doing it. And I wanted to let everybody know, it's supported by Corpus Christi Parish. They fund us, and the Winslow Community Cover. And what we do is every Saturday, we make a meal. It's available for anybody who wants it from 11 to 12. In the 6 weeks we've been doing it, we've gone from like about 15 meals. All of a sudden, we're up to 30 meals a Saturday. And I would like, and some of them are being delivered to shut-in people. Because as you know, Meals on Wheels doesn't deliver over the weekend. So this also gives shut-ins a weekend meal. So I just want everybody possibly to know about this. There's no requirements. It's free to anybody who wants to come in between 11 and 12. We're at the Oakland Baptist Church. It's just there for, and
And it's
this,
to go.
and it's to go. And this week, Miss Lund is cooking chicken and rice, green bean casserole, pineapple orange salad, and homemade cookies. So if you know people who need food, need some help with food, please let them know about us. Thank you.
Next item up is Dave Coughlin, EMS permit to advanced level.
Yes, he realized that his youngest son had a concert tonight, so he asked me to say a few things. He's looking for approval to move forward with the process of permitting to advanced level EMT. Currently, we're at a basic level. This will allow the 10 advanced EMT providers to perform additional servicing benefits to the Oakland residents on rescue. He does not expect the budget increase. We had discussed moving $3,000 from the rescue wages to a medical director line. You have to have a medical director sign off per call on the forms. So we created a new line within the rescue budget, but just to get our wages, there's no budget increase. He said the majority of the supplies they get from Delta, they replenish their stuff with Delta rides. And this process will involve a license application and a 30-day public posting for the change once they become advanced EMT level. If you would like further discussion from Dave, we can table the vote or whatever until January 10th meeting.
Some of the training he did early on, he's got some of his people back here, they probably know the answers. I think some out of town people come in and they work together on it. Is this what he's planning?
Tony, do you know about that?
About what's that?
The advanced level EMT trainings to permit to advance?
So as far as trainings, there's nothing lined up that we're hoping. But we do have a number of people on our staff that are already committed or that already licensed at that level now. So this would basically just allow them to operate to the next level above where we're currently learning. So
I think some of the basic training, didn't you have some folks in from some other towns that joined in on the training?
yeah, so we did host a basic level training. think just before the full-time staff got hired. But we're already operating at that level, so.
So we can invite Dave to come to the January 10th. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this allows our EMS personnel to get a higher level of certification, or it requires them to?
It would be,
I can clarify on that,
Okay.
that question. So, at the basic level, there's only a certain, amount of what we can do. By permitting up to the advanced level, what it would give us is, the ability to, hook a patient up to a heart monitor, which we were able to get that monitor on the grant. So that was the biggest expense. The next thing it would allow us to do is, people who are licensed at that level, there's a few extra medications that they can give. So that would pretty much be the biggest difference, as far as what they can give to a patient.
So now then, the people that are not licensed at that level, wait for Delta to arrive with the.
Yep, so we would just,
Paramedic.
yep, so you can either be licensed, the service can either be licensed up to a level or permitted up to a level. So since we'll be permitted up to the advanced level, we're not required to provide an advanced provider. So anybody that doesn't meet that level would still just operate at the basic level.
Don? How many? We have a study.
I'm just wondering, with this increase in cert, do they get an increase in pay?
we also put in the budget, different levels of stipend depending on their certifications levels.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, that's a good question. How many of the fire, we have full-time and we have part-time? The total number of firemen that we have, how many are at the basic level? And how many do we propose to train up to the higher?
And this will allow our 10 advanced EMS providers for the district services. And each item and go to that advanced level from on-call per diem, full-timers.
So now we have 10 at the basic level and all those who advance.
So, so there's 3 different levels to the licensure. So there's a basic level EMT, advanced, and then paramedic. Right now, the full timers, there's 3 of us that are basic and 1 that's advanced. The rest of the providers, the rest of the 10 providers on that list are made up of call members and per diem members. So this wouldn't necessarily allow us to, this wouldn't guarantee us the ability to certify higher. It just allows the people who are already certified at that level to operate. Basically what it is, for at the bare minimum, what it would allow is, one of the basic things is starting an IV. Basic level provider can't start an IV, but an advanced and paramedic can. The licensure that we're permitted up to right now restricts people that are licensed at a higher level. So this would basically just open up the restrictions that are in place and allow the advanced providers to do a little bit more without really increasing any needs or monetary items. Like I said, the biggest thing was the monitor, which is already purchased.
So most of these people are already certified at a higher level, but we just are operating on a basic level, so that allows them to do more with a license. Is
Exactly.
that correct?
Yeah.
So they've already had the education.
Exactly.
They're there.
Yeah.
He's looking for approval to move forward.
I'm gonna make a motion to give, fire chief permission to advance people to this higher level of EMS. Motion made, we have second by Bob, all in favor?
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you. Next thing up is a discussion from the Gagnon Road and the County Road.
I'm gonna have Mike Tracy step up with me here. So we met with MDOT before Thanksgiving. There's been some accidents and issues with the four-way, well, the Fairfield Street County Road and Gagnon Road intersection. I'll let you throw the statistics out.
Simply speaking, for years, we've got a lot of complaints from people that drive to that intersection or people that live in the area about all the accidents. I can tell you what one of you two's on. Yeah. Okay. You'll be surprised. Go ahead, sir. Again, over the past many years, we've received a lot of complaints about the dangerous intersection that is that intersection of the Gagnon Road, County Road, Fairfield Street, Oakland Road here in Fairfield. But anyway, it's been a dangerous intersection. We've gotten the complaints, so we've contacted the DOT, Department of Transportation. They did a study, and they studied the last 10 years, I believe. And over those years, they had all the numbers, and I think it's included in the packet.
It's in the packet online with a 45-page PowerPoint.
Yeah. So you can certainly look up that information and see what all those numbers are and the number of accidents and the severity of the accidents and so forth. And what it boils down to, it met the standard, did not meet the standards for flashing yellow light, which has been our first thought, would be useful there. But it did meet the standards of a four-way stop, which, when that's included, you have stop signs at each direction as it approaches the intersection. But in addition to that, and also if you look at, you can see that, it also places signs further back from the intersection. There are lighted flashing signs that bring to your attention that there's a stop ahead. And that is going to, I believe, in my opinion, it certainly has, according to all their studies, it's going to make it a much safer intersection, reduce the number of accidents, and hopefully.
They're gonna put some temporary signage up now, like within the next couple of months, just with the Armstrong Road closing. I think the traffic on that road is gonna increase tremendously. People heading out to Kobe and stuff, so. That's slated to start, I think, February 26th. So hopefully we can get the temporary stuff in, but the nice flash like stuff isn't gonna be in until like a year. So, yes,
Kelly, did they look at that on just a flat map, or did they go and look at the site?
They actually went out and visited the site.
they went out
And
and
They looked at the site and they also have all of the accident data for that.
You know, there's been 24 in the last 10 years, from the statistics they showed us, but I think they're gonna make it worse if going north on Fairfield Street, if it's slippery, and you come up the crest of that hill, and you've got a steep hill, and you gotta stop at the bottom.
Well, the meeting that we had there, that was brought up actually, because, Jeff Hall was there at the meeting, and they're going to certainly focus on that fact and sand here. And that was the situation. But it also, I mean, the lighted signs further back up at the top of the hill that you can see as you approach the top of the hill is going to notify people that there is a stop ahead and hopefully slow them down a little bit. Hopefully, I mean, that's the hope. And that would certainly make a difference if it doesn't.
and part of their studies showed like, time of day, turning left, turning right, going straight, and there was a lot of statistics.
Yeah.
And
Can I make a question, please? Is this something the state is going to decide to do or not do? Or are they looking for our blessing, or don't they care what we think?
I think, and I'm not, well, don't quote me on this,
I didn't mean to say that last.
No, I think it's the plan that's in place based on, I mean, all the criteria that they have for, you know, whether there's gonna be flashing lights to the approach the intersection, whether it's gonna be a four-way stop, whether they're gonna put up flashing lights and no stop, all those things that have to meet a certain criteria for them to do that. And I think their study indicates that this is the way to solve the problem. So I think it's their plan is to do it.
Obviously, the problem heading out of Oakland is the hill, and you can pull the hill and you're going to pass. This car is pulling out every which way.
That's what it boils down to. But that's also.
Having said that, and I wouldn't it doesn't do any good to stand in the way of DOT if they wanna do something. I have never come to a four-way stop sign and thought, boy, this is a good idea.
However, I think you also noticed so long, and I didn't really think about this so much, but even the other. Coming in the opposite direction, there's a rise there, and where you all don't see that intersection. But I think it's a good, way to solve the problem.
I don't
love
think we
four-way stop
need a
here.
vote, I think they just wanted your blessing, they wanted you to know about it. They wanted you to exactly do.
Well, I certainly think it would be good to make it safe. I'm not entirely convinced that better signage or lower speed limit somewhere before you crest that hill might not be helpful and avoid the need to always stop. That's just me.
Whether I agree or not, Bob, one of the things that they stated when we brought up that same watching, is that people, when they see signs, if there's no stop, they forget about it, and it's like 2 seconds. They forget what that sign even says, it's out of their mind. So unless it's something flashing telling you you're gonna stop, then you're thinking about stopping, but if it's not saying to stop, if it's just saying dangerous intersection, or if it's saying slow down, or whatever it might be saying, I guess people won't pay attention to that. According to the studies. Kelly.
I'm just curious what we're doing to prepare, drivers that drive that area there on a regular basis. Are we putting up any like error board signage about changing to intersection or anything like that? Just to get people thinking about that?
They had talked about that, Kelly, but I can't tell you what
I think
kind of
they're gonna
signage
do
it's gonna
it,
be.
yeah, I think they're gonna do it when
They do-
it's temporary.
Besides just putting up, you
They
know,
do some
some
advanced notification
type of,
signage,
Yeah.
yes,
yeah,
but I don't know what it is. I'm sure.
It's gonna be those big
Yeah.
digital boards.
Right.
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
But the message-
Pattern change.
Something that changed coming.
Okay, so most of the accidents have happened on clear, dry daytime hours. So my question is it part of it, the sun shining in people's eyes? And if that's the case, then the four-way stop is definitely gonna be helpful. Because somebody might not see somebody else coming if the sun hits them just right. So I mean, I guess it's not so much a question than a statement, but that's what I'm thinking is maybe it's something like that.
I think there are a lot of different factors.
Yeah,
Speed,
Yeah. I
just
would say
the
that's
fact that
one of
it's
the keys.
at the bottom of the hill, so visibility, you don't see the intersection until you're so many feet away from it. A lot of different factors.
Okay.
Yeah, we noticed that too.
Yeah, well, when I saw that, I was shocked. I was like, wow.
Again, part of that is, just like what Chief said, the last 23 years I've been going through this, one of my routes I take for my drivers, their kids, 23 years, and people pass you all the time coming in from Fairfield. And right by Musgrove's big old long chicken barn, they come over that hill and they are flying.
And you don't see that intersection.
You don't see the intersection until you get right on top of it,
Well,
so.
our new police chief's gonna put a car out there.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna
You're gonna fix everything.
Further questions?
say. Help you.
Amy? You've got yes,
Questions for Kelly about what happened.
Sean?
The biggest factor there, I know taking a left-hand turn, and it's one of Oakland, it seems like that. If you're going pretty fast, that is an issue. Well, again, I think speed is a factor, certainly, but it's one of many.
Seeing no further questions, thank you. Our next item up is we're gonna go into executive session under 1 MRSA 4056A. There will be no vote at the end. There will be no vote at the end. We're simply talking about a personnel matter. And thank you folks for coming. If you wish to stay, and when we go back in, we'll come out and get you, we'll flash light, we'll do whatever, but don't.
Can I have a motion for that?
So if anyone wants to do this, being done, I make a motion to go out.
Goodbye.